You really think I'd steal from Mom? My sister snapped across the courtroom. I swallowed. I don't think. I know. The judge leaned forward. Counselor, play the footage. My sister's smile vanished. My name is Danielle Brooks, and I'm 34 years old. I work as a registered nurse at a community hospital. Long shifts, modest pay, no fancy car. In my family, I was the responsible one. The one who stayed close to Mom after her diagnosis. My older sister, Heather, was always the favorite, the one they praised for her big personality and ambition. When Mom got sick with a degenerative illness, I moved back home to help manage her medications and appointments. Heather said she was too busy building her real estate career. I wasn't rich or glamorous, but I had something they didn't expect. I had patience. I had attention to detail. And I had a habit of noticing what others ignored. When I started seeing strange withdrawals from Mom's account, something inside me shifted. This wasn't just about money. It was about betrayal, and I wasn't going to let it slide. If you've ever been the one who stayed and did the hard work while someone else took the credit, I see you. Subscribe and tell me your story in the comments. Have you ever felt like the responsible one gets punished? Click hype if you've been there. Let's get into it. It started on a Tuesday evening. I was sitting at Mom's kitchen table, sorting through medical bills and bank statements. The smell of her lavender candles mixed with the staleness of a house that hadn't been cleaned properly in weeks. I was tired. My shift at the hospital had been brutal, 12 hours of back-to-back emergencies. But Mom's bills couldn't wait. I opened the bank statement, scanning the numbers like I always did. Then I froze. $10,000. Gone. Another $10,000 2 weeks before that. And another. My hands started shaking. I grabbed my phone and checked the online account. 5 major transfers over 3 months. $80,000 total. I felt sick. I drove to Heather's house that night. She answered the door in designer loungewear, wine glass in hand. Danielle, what's wrong? I held up the statement. Did you use Mom's card? She laughed. Actually laughed. Don't be dramatic. She said I could borrow some. Borrow. The word hung in the air between us. How much did you borrow, Heather? She shrugged. I don't know. A few thousand? I needed it for a property deal. A few thousand, not 80. The next day, I asked Mom directly. She was having a good morning, lucid and calm. Mom, do you remember giving Heather permission to take money from your account? She looked confused. Borrow? I don't remember that. My stomach dropped. Sunday dinner at Aunt Carol's house became a nightmare. I brought up the withdrawals carefully. Heather exploded. Are you seriously accusing me of stealing? You've always been jealous of me. The room went silent. Aunt Carol frowned at me. Heather's the successful one. Why would she need Mom's money? I felt my face flush. Because $80,000 is missing. Heather stood up, her voice rising. Maybe you're just bitter because you're stuck wiping hospital floors while I actually made something of myself. The words stung. Everyone was staring at me like I was the problem. I looked at Heather and spoke quietly. Then you won't mind if we let the bank look into it. Her smile tightened. Just for a second. But I saw it. The next week, everything got worse. Heather called a family meeting without me. She told everyone I was mentally stressed from work and obsessed with Mom's finances. I found out when my cousin texted me, "Hope you're okay. Heather's worried about you." Then, I was removed from the family group chat about Mom's care. Heather sent me a single text. You're too emotional to handle this. We've got it covered. At church the following Sunday, I overheard Heather talking to Mrs. Patterson from the choir. I'm so worried about Danielle. She's become obsessed with money. Poor Mom doesn't need that stress. Mrs. Patterson glanced at me with pity. Someone whispered behind me, "Poor Mom, dealing with that daughter." I wanted to scream, but I didn't. I went home and started documenting everything. Every withdrawal, every date. Every time Heather had visited the hospital. Then came the worst part. I arrived at Mom's house to find Heather sitting with her at the dining table. Papers spread everywhere. "What's going on?" I asked. Heather didn't look up. "Just updating some paperwork. Nothing that concerns you." I walked over. "Financial power of attorney documents." Heather was trying to get Mom to sign over complete control. "Mom, don't sign anything right now," I said firmly. Heather stood. "You don't trust me?" I met her eyes, not with her life savings. She grabbed the papers and stormed out. That night, I looked at the withdrawal timestamps again. They matched. Every single one aligned with days Heather had visited the hospital. Days she'd insisted on sitting with Mom while I worked. I stopped arguing after that. I just watched. And documented. What they didn't know was I'd already contacted the bank's fraud department. I remembered something from my shifts at the hospital. The ATM in the main hallway near the ICU. There was a security camera mounted directly above it. I'd walked past it hundreds of times. I filed a formal request for surveillance preservation, citing suspected financial exploitation of a vulnerable adult. Then I gathered Mom's medical records, every date she'd been hospitalized, every procedure, every time she'd been under sedation. The records didn't lie. During 4 of the 5 major withdrawals, Mom had been unconscious in the ICU. I had a plan they never saw coming. My nursing background taught me one crucial thing. Documentation is everything. Every medication, every vital sign, every signature. You can't argue with time-stamped records. Heather grew louder and more confident. She told relatives at a barbecue, "Danielle's grasping at straws. She has no proof." I simply smiled and said, "We'll see." I had the CCTV footage request pending. I had transaction logs printed and organized. I had signature samples from before Mom got sick compared to the authorization forms Heather claimed Mom had signed. The handwriting didn't match, not even close. Then, I got help from someone unexpected. Mr. Callahan was the family lawyer who'd handled my father's estate 15 years ago. He was in his late 60s now, semi-retired, but sharp as ever. I remembered him as the man who'd patiently explained legal terms to teenage me when Dad died. I called him. We met at a coffee shop downtown. I spread out the transaction records on the table between us. He studied them in silence, his reading glasses perched on his nose. Finally, he looked up. "If your mother didn't authorize these transactions, Danielle, this is fraud." His voice was steady. "Certain. Will you help us?" I asked. He nodded. "I remember you. You were the daughter who asked the right questions. Let me represent your mother's interests." When Heather found out, she laughed. "Oh, please. A dusty old lawyer? That's your big move?" Mr. Callahan calmly filed a petition for financial guardianship review and requested a full accounting of Mom's assets. The court date was set for 3 weeks out. Heather threw a party at her condo that weekend. I saw the photos on social media, champagne glasses. A banner reading, "Closed the deal." She was bragging about a big real estate sale. Meanwhile, I received an email confirmation. The CCTV footage had been secured and uploaded to the case file. The family assumed I was bluffing. Heather told my aunt, "She's embarrassing us over nothing." I replied simply, "No, I'm protecting Mom." The courtroom was smaller than I expected. Beige walls, fluorescent lights, rows of wooden benches. Heather sat at the defendant's table looking polished and confident, designer suit, perfect hair. She testified first. Her voice was smooth and practiced. "My mother told me I could use the money. She wanted to help me with my business. I would never take advantage of her." The judge listened. Neutral expression. Then Mr. Callahan stood. "Your Honor, we'd like to present evidence." The judge nodded. "Proceed." Mr. Callahan gestured to the bailiff. "Play the footage." The screen flickered on. Hospital hallway. White walls. The timestamp in the corner read 2:47 p.m., April 14th. The ATM came into view. And there was Heather, clear as day. She inserted a card, punched in numbers. Withdrew cash. The timestamp matched Mom's medical records exactly. I watched Heather's face. The color drained. Gasps rippled through the courtroom. I stood. My voice was steady. "You said she gave permission. She was unconscious." Heather stammered. "It was a misunderstanding. I thought she'd be okay with it." Mr. Callahan laid out signature comparison documents. Mom's real signature next to the authorization forms Heather had filed. They didn't match, not remotely. A bank representative took the stand. "We have no record of Mrs. Brooks authorizing these withdrawals." The judge's expression hardened. "This court finds clear evidence of financial exploitation of a vulnerable adult." Heather's composure finally broke. "Danielle, please. I was going to pay it back." I looked at her calmly, quietly. You should have thought about that before you took it. The judge ordered full restitution and froze Heather's accounts pending criminal investigation. The room fell silent. Heather didn't look at me as she left the courtroom. Her lawyer walked quickly beside her. Some relatives approached me quietly. Apologies. Awkward hugs. We should have listened. Mom squeezed my hand. Her voice was soft. Thank you for protecting me. I didn't feel victorious, just steady. The money was restored to Mom's account within 2 weeks. Heather faced criminal charges for elder financial abuse. She lost her real estate license. Her career crumbled. I moved Mom into a better care facility with the remaining funds. She was safe, comfortable. As I sat with her one evening, watching the sunset through her window, I thought about everything that had happened. Being the responsible one isn't glamorous. It doesn't get you praised at family dinners or envied on social media. But integrity speaks when lies fall apart. I didn't win because I was louder. I won because I paid attention. Sometimes the quiet daughter is the only one strong enough to stand up. If your family ever took advantage of someone vulnerable, especially for money, you know how deep that wound goes. Have you ever had to protect a parent from someone they trusted? Share your story in the comments. Subscribe if you believe standing up for the vulnerable matters. Click hype to help this story reach others who need it. Did this story hit home? Let me know by liking the video and sharing your thoughts in the comments. Click hype to help this story find others who felt the same way. Your support makes a huge difference.